I would like to take a few minutes to review with you the items that are required for your practicum. I know that a lot of information has been provided to you over a very short period of time, so hopefully this walkthrough will allow you to separate out exactly what's needed for your practicum. When you log into Blackboard for our course EDUC 291, click on Learning Modules. This recording is for both of my classes, so please note that these dates for Module 2, 3, and 4 are different for elementary and secondary. Make sure you check those modules for your dates. I will send out emails prior to our meetings to remind you of the meeting. Click on Module 1 in both sections, and that is where all of the important information is housed. This is the checklist here for your traditional practicum or your alternate practicum. All documents are located here. So let's walk through each of the items so that you know what needs to happen. Click on the practicum activity log. So you notice that is the first assignment. When you open the practicum activity log, you're going to write out dates, time in, time out, hours, activity, and then have your teacher sign off on it. Since we are working in a virtual environment, you can have your teacher electronically sign it if they're unable to sign the PDF, or they could print it out, sign, take a picture, and send the picture back to you. Your hours should total 60 hours. Those of you that are in the alternate practicum, which means you're in your own classroom, simply list the dates for your first 2 weeks of school and the hours to equal 60. You then do not need to have a teacher sign off on it. It is just the time that you are in your own classroom. Every teacher, or every student, I should say, you are going to sign here, and then you're going to have your cooperating teacher sign off on that total of 60 hours. Those of you, again, in your own classroom will not have a teacher to sign off on it. Next, demographic overview. Go ahead and click on the PDF and open it. I apologize, I thought I had uploaded the one with these marks corrected, so I will correct that. This information is for you to fill out and talk to your cooperating teacher about. What grade levels does the building serve? How many Title I students are in the building? All of this information is to be filled out and then submitted into live text. Again, this is to understand the demographics at the school, because when you get your own classroom, you're going to want to make sure you understand how many students we're serving as a whole in our building, how many of those are at risk. Are we an all-school Title I school, which presents different funding for you? And so that's important to know how your school building is made up. Next, we see the candidate self-assessment. We're going to go on here and look for the candidate self-assessment, which is up here. Click on that PDF. You're going to type your name, location for classroom teacher, who is your cooperating teacher. If you are in the alternate practicum, you still fill this out. You just put your name here as a classroom teacher. Next, you will give yourself a number of points, 0, 1, or 2 in each of these areas. This is the exact same document that your cooperating teacher will fill out for those of you who are not in the alternate practicum. You then will sign. This document gets uploaded into live text. Next, cooperating teacher candidate reflection. For your candidate reflection, up here, cooperating practicum candidate reflection, click on it. It will open up that PDF, and this is just a series of questions that you're going to answer, reflecting on the experience you have had. This includes those of you in the alternate practicum. You will still fill this out. Was teaching in your own room enough for you to reflect on this practicum piece? Because we want to make sure if the alternate practicum doesn't work for people, then is an appropriate placement for people. And so that's why we want to make sure that we're kind of looking at this holistically based on reflections. All right, the cooperating teacher assessment and the cooperating teacher reflection are for those of you in the traditional practicum. You will notice if you scroll down that for the alternate practicum, it says you want to have an administrator evaluation or letter of recommendation in place of these two options or these two articles, okay? So again, if you're in the alternate practicum, you're getting a letter from your administrator because probably most of you don't have an evaluation because the state has not required that this year for most teachers. So just have your administrator write a letter of recommendation for you. Those of you in the traditional practicum, here's the cooperating teacher assessment as well as a reflection. We click up here. Here's the cooperating teacher assessment. When you open it, you will see it is identical to the one you filled out about yourself. Okay. Your cooperating teacher will sign this and they're going to send it back to you. I know at the bottom of the document, it gives them a place to return it to. They do not need to do that. They can return it straight to you, or you could have them send it to me and I can send you a copy because you will need to upload this into live text as well. Cooperating teacher reflection, we go up here, open it, it's a PDF. Again, it's those same questions, slightly modified, that you reflected on. Again, we want to see how do the cooperating teachers feel about this practicum experience. Is there areas that we could improve on as a whole to make sure everyone's experience is the best that it can be? Lesson plan from observation. So each of you, whether you're in the traditional or the alternate, has to have a lesson observed from me. You will upload this lesson plan. We're using the Schoolcraft lesson plan template. I did not post it here, but I'm happy to go back and include that if you need it, but you should have it from your other classes. Your lesson plan, please fill that out. It gets uploaded into live text. I will then review that lesson plan hopefully prior to observing you, but that's not always the case, that it has to be done afterwards, and that's okay. Because we have such a short period of time before the end of the year, I understand if you can't get this lesson plan done before I observe you. Also know that in the alternate practicum, I still need a lesson plan from you for the observation that was completed. Those of you in the alternate practicum, because not all of you are doing live teaching due to COVID-19, I understand this lesson plan is going to look a little different because you're providing me enrichment activities. And so kind of think through what was your purpose in planning these enrichment activities when you develop this lesson plan. I also have an alternate observation document that I'll be using when I'm observing those enrichment activities. Your last two pieces are the instructor observation rubric. So that is going to need to be completed by me. I will send it to you and you'll upload it into live text. And then finally, your portfolio. I'm going to create a separate recording that's going to walk you through the portfolio. But I'm hopeful that this presentation here has allowed you to know that everybody, regardless of your practicum, needs to have the practicum activity log. Those of you who are getting a K-12 certificate are doing half your hours in elementary and half your hours in secondary. It is the understanding that you will have 2 practicum logs then, 30 hours in your elementary setting, 30 hours in your secondary setting. For the demographic overview, candidate self-assessment, reflection, cooperating teacher assessment, and cooperating teacher reflection form. If you are doing 2 practicums because you are that K-12 endorsement area, you only have to do the self-assessment and reflection once, but we would like from your cooperating teachers, both of them, the assessment and reflection. All of these items here, I would suggest that you just print off this checklist and go ahead and print off each of these documents so that you can keep them straight as you're working through your practicum during this very quick time. Next, I'm going to log into live text and kind of just show you that all the assignments are there. I will warn you, my view in live text looks different than your view, but I want to be able to share this with you. When you log into live text, your screen's going to look different. You'll actually see boxes, and I'm kind of drawing it here with my mouse, of each assignment. But as you can see here, all of these pieces that you had to do for your practicum that are in that module in Blackboard are listed right here. So you'll simply click on the activity and then you'll be able to upload your documents. I won't click on it here because it's going to take me to be able to see all of your names on here, and I don't want that to be in the recording. Notice we extended the due date just because there are a few students who will be having to do another half of their practicum in the fall, and so that's why that due date is extended till the 20th, because we were unable to find certain practicums available at this time of the school year. So know that that's why that is extended. On your end, when you start to submit these, you're going to see it turn yellow for you. That says it's waiting for me to grade, and then green when I grade it. There is an optional interest in being considered for a teaching position. If you want to upload your resume here, if we get inquiries from different principals or school districts, we will send them your resume if you want that to be considered. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me so that I can help you work through these things. Know that this recording again is going through the items that you need to upload for your practicum, making sure that you're able to get all of those pages signed prior to the end of the school year for yourself. This course will be much longer than when the traditional school year ends, but I wanted to make sure that you had this information readily available for you. Those of you who are in the alternate practicum, of course, in the cooperating teacher reflection and teacher assessment of the candidate, those will be blank. Or you can write in this cooperating teacher assessment of the candidate, upload your administrator evaluation letter or letter of recommendation. Thank you, and please again, do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions.